Denali, formerly known as Mount McKinley, is the highest peak in North America, soaring to a majestic 20,310 feet. However, Denali is far more than just a mountain. It is a vast wilderness that encompasses a diverse array of ecosystems, flora and fauna, and cultural heritage. This introduction to Denali invites us to explore its myriad landscapes, highlighting its significance well beyond its towering peaks. Denali's importance stems from its ecological diversity, serving as a rich habitat for numerous species including grizzly bears, caribou, and wolves. This biodiversity is crucial for researchers studying ecological patterns and the impacts of climate change. The surrounding national park, covering over 6 million acres, offers an unfettered wilderness experience, drawing adventurers, scientists, and nature enthusiasts from around the globe. For example, the Denali National Park and Preserve is a prime location for observing wildlife in their natural habitats. It invites visitors to engage in activities such as hiking, camping, and mountaineering, providing a living laboratory for scientific research. Another example is Denali's cultural significance to indigenous populations, such as the Koyukon Athabascans, who have lived in the region for thousands of years and regard Denali as sacred. Their traditions and stories are integral to understanding Denali's full significance. The view that Denali is more than just a mountain is supported by conservationists and ecologists who emphasize the need to protect this delicate ecosystem from threats like climate change and tourism-related disruptions. These advocates highlight Denali's role as a keystone in global biodiversity and a spiritual sanctuary that fosters a deep respect for nature's grandeur. Yet this viewpoint is not without challenges. The growing popularity of Denali poses increased risks to its environment, precipitating debates about sustainable tourism and conservation strategies. Some skeptics argue that the emphasis on tourism could overshadow necessary conservation efforts, potentially leading to environmental degradation. Additionally, climate change poses an urgent threat as melting glaciers and shifting habitats alter the landscape. Understanding Denali as more than just a mountain enriches our comprehension of both its ecological and cultural dimensions. It invites a holistic appreciation that underscores the need for balanced conservation efforts while celebrating the diverse, untold spectacles that Denali unveils. This perspective is pivotal for responsibly managing the delicate interplay between human activity and nature, ultimately ensuring that Denali continues to inspire and sustain future generations. The diverse ecosystems of Denali National Park serve as a remarkable showcase of nature's complexity and resilience. Comprising over 6 million acres of pristine wilderness, Denali's ecosystems range from lowland taiga forests to alpine tundras, creating a dynamic mosaic of habitats. This diversity is crucial because it supports an array of flora and fauna, from the iconic grizzly bears and caribou to rare plant species. These ecosystems are intrinsic to understanding Denali's largely untouched beauty, offering a perspective that goes beyond its towering peaks and delves into the intricacies of natural interdependence. Significantly, the diversity of Denali's ecosystems underscores its ecological importance. It functions as a biodiversity hotspot in the subarctic, a region where life thrives against the odds. Such areas are vital for scientific research, offering insights into species adaptation and climate change resilience. For example, the lowland boreal forests, with their white spruce and birch, provide a habitat for migratory birds, while the river systems sustain native fish populations like the Arctic grayling. A compelling example of Denali's ecological magnificence is its role as a natural laboratory for studying climate change. The shifts in Denali's plant and animal dynamics reflect broader environmental trends, thereby offering a window into the future of subarctic and global ecosystems. Additionally, Denali's landscapes are fundamental to indigenous cultures, like the Athabascan people, whose traditions and livelihoods are intricately tied to the land's natural resources, showcasing the human dimension of these biological interactions. However, preserving Denali's ecosystems poses challenges. The impacts of climate change, such as permafrost thaw and changes in precipitation patterns, threaten to disrupt these fragile environments. Furthermore, balancing increasing tourism with conservation poses long-term sustainability concerns. Critics might argue that human interference, intentional or inadvertent, could degrade this wilderness over time. On the flip side, sustainable practices and ecotourism can provide a model for conservation, while still allowing people to experience this natural wonder. Understanding Denali's diverse ecosystems not only enriches our appreciation of its landscapes, but also deepens the narrative of its untold spectacles. It reminds us that Denali's allure is not solely in its majestic peaks, but also in the myriad life forms that paint its valleys. This awareness encourages a holistic view, intertwining conservation efforts with the preservation of cultural heritage and the awe-inspiring beauty of nature's untamed grandeur. Thus, the ecosystems of Denali weave into the broader discussion of environmental stewardship and the profound legacy of natural wonders. Wildlife Wonders Beyond the Big Five invites us to delve into the lesser-known, yet equally mesmerizing creatures that inhabit Denali National Park. While many visitors focus on the Big Five, grizzly bears, wolves, moose, Dall sheep, and caribou, the park holds an astonishing diversity of life that thrives amidst this vast wilderness. The significance of exploring wildlife beyond these iconic species lies in the richness it adds to our understanding of Denali's ecosystem. The park's other inhabitants, such as the Arctic ground squirrel and the ptarmigan, play crucial roles in maintaining ecological balance. By broadening our focus, we not only enhance our appreciation for Denali's biodiversity, but also foster a deeper connection with nature. Consider the Arctic ground squirrel, a tiny mammal known for surviving harsh winters through hibernation. Their burrows aerate the soil, facilitating nutrient cycles that support plant growth. Similarly, the rock ptarmigan, with its seasonally changing plumage, serves as both predator and prey, maintaining the food chain's stability. These examples highlight how every species, regardless of size, contributes significantly to the park's ecosystem. Experts and nature enthusiasts emphasize the beauty and intricacy present in the interactions among all of Denali's wildlife. They argue that focusing solely on more charismatic megafauna can overshadow the many unique adaptations and survival strategies exhibited by smaller creatures. This perspective enriches the visitor experience, fostering an appreciation for diversity even within a singular ecosystem. However, some challenges arise in shifting attention beyond the Big Five. Charismatic wildlife often garners more interest and funding for conservation efforts. Popularity can breed protection. Conversely, less attention on smaller species might lead to their ecological roles being underestimated or overlooked. Critics might question whether the spotlight on lesser-known species diverts essential resources from safeguarding the more vulnerable populations of the Big Five. Exploring wildlife wonders beyond the Big Five connects deeply with the main theme of Denali's Untold spectacles. It expands our understanding of the park as more than just majestic peaks and iconic animals, showcasing it as a vibrant tapestry of interconnected lives. This perspective encourages holistic conservation efforts and instills a broader, more inclusive appreciation of wilderness. In a world where protecting biodiversity becomes increasingly crucial, recognizing all contributors to Denali's natural harmony ensures these untold spectacles endure for future explorers. The cultural heritage of the Denali region encompasses the rich tapestry of traditions, stories, and practices of the indigenous peoples and communities who have lived in and around Denali National Park for generations. This heritage is not just a historical footnote, but a living, breathing part of what makes Denali unique. It provides insight into the deep connections between humans and this extraordinary landscape long before it became a renowned national park. The significance of the cultural heritage of Denali extends beyond the physical beauty of its peaks. It adds a layer of depth to the understanding of the region, highlighting the human stories that have shaped and been shaped by the land. One real-world example of this cultural heritage is the traditions of the Athabascan people, who have subsisted in this region for thousands of years. Their knowledge of the land, demonstrated through skills like tracking, crafting tools, and telling stories that have been passed down through generations, showcases a profound connection with the environment. Another example is the historical role of trades and trails used by indigenous communities, such as the Stampede Trail, which later became known during the famous expedition of Christopher McCandless. These elements underscore the continuity and change in human interaction with the Denali landscape. Support for the preservation of this cultural heritage is robust among historians and conservationists, who argue that acknowledging and protecting these traditions is essential for a comprehensive understanding of Denali. However, challenges exist, such as the risk of these traditions being overshadowed by more commercially viable tourist activities. Additionally, there is a controversy in the potential erosion of cultural practices due to modern influences and reduced engagement by younger generations. Alternative viewpoints might emphasize the idea of integrating cultural narratives into the broader tourist experience. Critics could argue that without commercializing cultural aspects, it would be challenging to sustain interest and support. Despite these challenges, the interconnection of cultural heritage with Denali's natural wonders significantly enhances the region's allure. It influences other aspects of the main topic by adding a human dimension to the untold spectacles of Denali, juxtaposing the timeless stories and knowledge of indigenous communities against the majestic natural environment. This connection deepens the appreciation of Denali, not just as a park defined by its peaks, but as a vibrant landscape enmeshed in human history and culture, offering a fuller and richer understanding to all who visit.